Hi and welcome to day 5 and our final meridian line, the lung meridian. The lung and the large intestine are the pair. The lung is really, again, similar to the spleen, the outside world coming in, and this is the first place where the chi is coming into your body. Every breath you take, those thousands of breaths you take every day throughout your life, is the outside world coming into the chest, that air, that life-giving chi, filling up your body and hopefully giving you the energy you need to move through life in a present way. So when we look at the lung meridian line in and out of balance, when it's out of balance, and this can again be from grief or a loss of something, it's a very similar place to the heart. We're looking at coughs, colds, asthma. This is really anything respiratory related. This is related to your lung chi and the lung meridian line. When the lung chi can come into balance, this is when we can move through life with strength. We have the strength and we have the courage to deal with any difficulties we might come into contact with. And at the same time, be able to experience like the really magical moments in life. Be present when there's a beautiful day that you're sharing with one of your friends or your family, or maybe it's a meal that you're eating, and you can really appreciate and experience that moment, feeling it fully in every cell of your body. We're going to do some more breathing techniques after the poses, so there's a little less of the yin and more of the breath work, because it's the lungs, it's the air that we breathe, and when we do these breathing techniques, this can really improve how we breathe when we come off the yoga mat, and there's some really powerful ways to bring you into the parasympathetic nervous system and allow your body and your mind to function a lot better and a lot more in harmony with everything else. So you're going to need a bolster or some cushions, maybe a block, just as you have done in the other classes. So I'd like you to lie down on your back. We're going to begin in constructive rest pose. So your feet are as wide as the mat and your knees are resting in on each other. See if you can bring the arms into cactus arms. And so you're just pausing here, palms of the hands face the sky, chest is open. Closing your eyes and just taking a moment to be still, taking that pause to arrive in this moment. Maybe noticing how you feel, noticing the depth, the pace and the quality of your breath here and now. We're going to come into 6-6 breath. This is the coherent breath, and what has been studied quite a lot in the last few years as being, I suppose, the most beneficial breath for us to do. And it's very simple. You breathe in for a count of 6, and then you breathe out for a count of 6. Now, if that feels way too long, then just breathe in a balanced way. So in for 3 and out for 3, or 4 and 4, you get the idea. And so for these first couple of minutes, you're seeing, could you lengthen the breath so you can breathe in for a count of 6, and out for a count of 6. Maybe the momentum's wandered, or maybe you're still focusing on that 6-6 breath. Maybe it's becoming easier. And so I'd like you to keep this breath in mind as we move through the rest of the poses in today's practice. So you can stay lying down on your back. You're going to want to take your arms out to the side, and you might want cushions or a bolster or maybe even a block to go underneath the knees. And we're going to take a spinal twist. So bringing the knees up into the chest, taking them over to one side, let's say to the right side. And it makes more sense when I'm talking about it. You might not need the block or cushions, so if you don't need them, remove them. You're going to feel that stretch all along the left side of the body, through the side body, through the arms and to the tips of the fingers. And then pausing there, you can close the eyes, and if both of your shoulders are down on the floor, this other one included, then you might deepen the stretch through the chest, through the arm, the hand, by taking that cactus arms position. If this arm's hanging in the air, then abort the mission, okay? Straighten the arms out again. There's no need to force it. We're going to hold it for a little while here. I'm going to start the timer. And we're going to take 5 minutes each side. So you can scan your body. Where do you feel this pose? Similarly to some of the heart positions we were doing yesterday, we're getting that lovely big stretch through the left rib cage. So you're making space physically, physiologically, to support your breath, to support your respiration. And in the tradition of yoga, BKS Iyengar said really like the respiratory system is really the root of it all. Like if we can improve the breath and how we breathe, it will improve the digestive system, the nervous system, and ourselves as a whole. So you've got 3.5 minutes to go. So coming into that 6-6 breath. When I talk about being called the coherent breath, it's bringing not only your breath but your heart rate into coherence, which allows you to think clearly. It brings clarity of thought. When the lung chi is out of balance, we can have very cloudy thinking. It's hard to see a way through. In for 6, out for 6. Simple as that. You have 90 seconds there. Maybe if you've had a prop under the legs, you might move that prop, and maybe this other shoulder, this left shoulder, maybe it's a little closer to the floor and want to explore that cactus arms position again. If you've had the arms in cactus arms, you could take it one stage further by reaching the arms straight up over the head, and you're going to get even deeper stretch through that left chest area. So that's optional. You might feel it more in the upper back too. Really good. So we're coming to those last few breaths. Beginning to think about coming out. 5 minutes is quite a long time, so take your time to bring the arms back, maybe taking the hands to the knees, using your core to bring yourself up to center, feeling your back realign, taking a little pause, enjoying the stillness of the rebound. How does it feel? The left side, the right side. Maybe the left side feels so much more spacious, longer. Maybe it all feels the same. Just notice what you feel. Opening your eyes, we're going to come into the other side. We're going to take the arms out to the side. You're going to bring the knees up towards your chest and then take your knees over to that left side. Remember, you can prop with cushions, bolsters, blocks, whatever you have, or nothing if you don't need to. So just settling in, getting comfortable, can the back of the body sink into the mat? Doesn't matter if this shoulder's a little lifted, okay? It has 5 minutes to maybe find its way down the floor. Maybe, because that's not the point. The point is this looking inwards, this skill called interoception, the ability to feel what's happening in your body, feel your heartbeat, feel the soft tissues, the fascia deep within you beginning to stretch, move, those very subtle sensations, not just arm on the floor, but deeper than that. And it is a skill, it's something that you need to practice, that hopefully over these last 5 days you've become a little bit more fine-tuned towards those subtleties of your inner workings, the inner body, the energetic body. So you've settled in, hopefully you're comfortable. Remember, if shoulders are down, you could take that cactus arms position. So you've got 3.5 minutes to go. You're coming back to that 6-6 breath. In for 6. And out for 6. If the mind wanders, that's okay. Just gently bring it back here. And so now we're in that last 90 seconds of this pose, where you might remove the prop a little bit if you feel that's going to work for your body. You might reach the arms straight up over the head if you've had them in cactus arms. If you lift it up, you feel pinching in the shoulder, then move around that. Don't want a pinching. You're finding your way into your body. This is your practice, these are your poses, and we are all unique. So we're coming into the last 5 breaths or so, maybe a few more, depending on if you've got that full 6-6 count yet. And just as we did on the other side, you begin to think about coming out. Think about beginning to move your body, moving the arms back. Maybe taking the hands to the knees and helping yourself back out. Feeling the back realign on the floor. Closing your eyes and going inwards for the rebound. Slowly, you're going to open your eyes and we're going to roll over onto our front for the next pose. The next pose is puppy pose, and there's lots of variations for the arms, and as before, it's wherever your shoulders feel most comfortable. We're not wanting pinching or pins and needles, that's very important. There is some activation through the core muscles to protect the back, especially if you're quite mobile, but everybody is included in that slight activation in the core to support the back in this back bend. So puppy pose, you've got your knees straight under the hips and you walk the hands forwards. Now as the head comes down towards the floor, the full pose is to have your arms extended out like this. This is quite intense. So what you may prefer is to bend the arms and rest the head on the hands. You can also place the head down and bend the elbows and have the hands behind you. Okay, so you can have both arms straight out, one arm straight out. You need to remember to change the size, so let's say both arms resting the head on them, or elbows on the floor and being here. And then if I let go of the core, I just go like this, okay? So I'm drawing in a little bit through the core muscles to protect the back here. And then you breathe, you pause. So you've got 2 minutes here, you've got 2 more minutes there. This beautiful stretch through the upper back, this lovely stretch through the underarms as well.
any discomfort in the neck or the shoulders, then you can simply find your way out to a child's pose. Otherwise, hold in this position. You've got 1 more minute here.
So you've got a few more breaths, let's say
5 deep breaths. I would encourage you to count those 5 breaths yourself. Take your time, and whenever you finish those 5 breaths, walking yourself back, bringing those knees together, you'll find your way into a child's pose. Arms wherever they're comfortable. The body is still. You feel a rebound here. How does it feel to breathe now? The knees compressing into the chest, into the ribs. I would imagine maybe it's not moving quite as freely as when we were lying down in that beautiful twist. Can you make space, even in this small position, to breathe fully? And so then we'll take our time to reach the hands forwards
and come forwards for our Sphinx pose. Now, please remember, any issues with your back, you're going to be here and maybe stay here lying down on your front. So this is option 1, where you could stay for the whole time, or eventually you might come up to Sphinx. So we begin here, and then the elbows can come up. And we're going to take 3 minutes here, so you can play around with where you want the hands turning out or in, maybe wriggling the feet back to stretch out through the front of the hips, pulling on the hands to pull your chest forwards. You can look forwards, you can let the head relax down. This is a nice one. So we've done a few back bends over the last few days. So some of you who have a bolster, or you can make this support with cushions, may be ready to put the ribs onto the bolster, and that is lovely to take the pressure off the shoulders, but also deepens the back bend. So this would be option 3, is to take your Sphinx pose on a support. And you might find you can also pull it down a little bit more so it rests down onto your tummy. Okay, so that's option 4. This is more like seal pose, which we will come to in another minute's time. So just finding a way into the back bend that best suits your body today, Breathing in for a count of 6, breathing out for a count of 6. You can keep the glutes a little active to support your back. So as we come towards the final minute, if you've been lying down on the floor, maybe you come up to Sphinx. If you've been happy and comfortable in your Sphinx, then maybe you're going to turn the hands out and come into seal. If you're on the bolster, maybe that's when you move the bolster further down towards your hips. then you breathe. You've got 45 seconds here. Remember, if you come up and it doesn't feel right, there's no one keeping you there. Just pop those elbows back down on the mat. It's your practice, it's your body. I know I say that a lot, but it's a reminder. We're meeting the body with compassion, doing the pose that best suits you today. Might be different on another day. You can take that last full breath as slowly as you can. Putting the elbows down, carefully moving the bolster out the way, lying down, head on your hands. You could stay there, or moving back to child's pose for your counter pose, knees together. If you have a bolster, you can take a hug the bolster, child's pose, knees around the bolster, body leaning onto it. Really lovely pose, or a few cushions. You take this as the rebound and the counter pose. Just making sure you've returned to a natural breath. So then slowly you're going to find your way up from your child's pose, and we're going to come to seated to practice the two breathing techniques that I want to share with you. These are two of my favourite techniques. They're quite simple to do and have a really powerful effect on the nervous system of your body. Most breathing techniques, the aim is to leave you in the parasympathetic state, the parasympathetic calm, rest, digest, or as I like to call it as well, a confident and happy state. The first one that we're going to do is alternate nostril breath. If one of the nostrils is blocked, then you're going to imagine that the breath is moving in this way, in through one side, out through the other, back in and across. Okay, if it feels weird, you feel like you're not getting enough air, you feel anxious, then please stop and just go with a normal breath. So we're sitting up tall. I like to kneel over a bolster. You could have your legs crossed. You could sit up against a wall or in a chair, but the spine needs to be upright. You could also lie down on the floor. So you're going to use the right hand for your nose, thumb for one side, ring finger for the other. The two fingers can rest on the bridge of your nose or down in your hand. There's a little notch just underneath the bony bit, the bridge of the nose, and that's just right to fit the thumb and the finger in to block the nostril. Okay, so sitting up tall, the other hand rests on the other thigh. You're going to take a few normal breaths, just a few normal breaths, maybe noticing, firstly, are the nostrils clear? And then, do you favour one side or the other? Are you breathing more through one side or the other? And just noticing that. And then when you're ready, you'll place the thumb to the nose and inhale through the left nostril. And then you're going to change, push the ring finger into the nose and exhale through the right. Same side, you're going to inhale through the right, eyes are closed, spine is long. And then you're going to change the finger and exhale through the left. Same side, you're going to inhale through the left change to exhale through the right. Inhaling right. You change to exhale through the left. So as you get the idea of the pattern, then please go with your own breath, as long breath as you like, as is comfortable. In through the same side and then out at the other side to exhale. Carrying on with this. Changing to exhale. You've got a few more rounds of this. The spine stays long. You support it with your core. You may find as you do this the nostril clears, because remember there's that interesting little point just here either side of the nose, your large intestine 14, which will clear the nasal passages. And then when you next exhale through the left side, with the eyes closed, both hands rest in a lap, and you pause. How does the breath flow now? Does it go through the same side as before? Is it moving more evenly through both? You might be interested to know it's actually your breath works in cycles. It maybe go favour the right side, then the left side, and then blow sort of at different times throughout the day. So you can open your eyes, and the next breathing technique I want to share with you is the 4-7-8 breath. This was developed by Dr. Andrew Vail, and he uses this in his clinic to all his patients. This is bringing you into a very healing and restorative state, into your parasympathetic nervous system, easy for me to say, and keeping you in that rest and digest, confident, happy state. This is almost like a tranquilizer for your mind. So if you find it hard to go to sleep, you have a very busy, overactive mind, also useful when we're thinking about the spleen meridian line, the spleen energy, if you like over worry and overthink. This is also a good breathing technique to use, working with that line. 4-7-8. You'll count it yourself, so you can make it a quicker count or a longer count. And remember, just like the 6-6 breath, you can build it up, make sure it's comfortable for you. So it's a 4 breath in through the nose, a hold for 7, and then a blowing out through the mouth for 8. If you have a history of panic attacks or trauma, you may find holding the breath is not possible for you. And if that's the case, leave that out, breathe in for 4, and then breathe out for 8. Okay, it should make you feel good and relaxed. It shouldn't make you feel uncomfortable in any way. So let's begin, and I'm going to talk you through the first couple and then leave you to practice on your own. So sitting tall, the eyes are closed. Bringing your attention to your breath, and when you're ready, you'll breathe in through the nose for a count of 4, and then you'll hold for a count of 7, and then out through the mouth, blowing out through your mouth for the count of 8, and then we do it again. In through the nose for 4, holding for the count of 7, blowing out through the mouth quite forcefully for the count of 8, and you'll carry on at your own pace. going at your own count as it feels appropriate for you. And then when you're ready, returning to a normal breath. Taking time to scan your body, all your three bodies, physical, mental, emotional bodies. And then you can open your eyes. So I hope you've enjoyed the last few days of practicing with me and doing the different postures and the breathing techniques and all that time you spent working on your mindfulness and meditation practice. As always, ask any questions you have in the comments and I will get back to you.